নমস্কার দর্শক বন্ধুরা, আপনাদের সকলকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি রেফ স্পোর্টস বাংলার এক নতুন উপস্থাপনাতে। আমি সোমনাথ, এবং আজকের এই প্রতিবেদনে বা আজকের এই ইন্টারভিউতে আমরা এমন একজন বিশেষ অতিথিকে নিয়ে এসেছি যিনি কিন্তু আপামর ইস্টবেঙ্গল জনতার কাছে খুবই প্রিয়। ইস্টবেঙ্গলের ইতিহাসে এমন অনেক কোচেস এসেছে। যদি আমরা বিদেশি কোচেদের কথা বলি তাহলে কিন্তু এরকম অনেক কোচ এসেছে যারা ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে ভালো খেলিয়েছে, কিন্তু সেই একটা টাইটেল বা সেই একটা লিগ দিতে পারেনি ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে। এরকম অজস্র কোচ আছে, এবং এই সমস্ত কোচের মধ্যে কিন্তু একজন ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গান। এবং আজকেও যদি এই ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গানের কথা বলা হয় তাহলে আবামর ইস্ট বেঙ্গল জনতা তারা কিন্তু একটুখানি হলেও ইমোশনাল হয়ে যায়, নস্টালজিক হয়ে যায়। কারণ কেনই না, ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের সেই যুগের যে দলটা ছিল ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গানের আন্ডারে, সেটা কিন্তু কেউই ভুলতে পারে না। তার যে অ্যাটাকিং ফুটবল এবং সেই দলের যে একটা হার না মানা মানসিকতা, কিংবা কখনোই না হারার মতো একটা জায়গায় পৌঁছে গেছিল। একাধিক কিন্তু বড় বড় রেকর্ড তারা স্থাপন করেছে। টানা ৩০টারও বেশি ম্যাচ অপরাজিত থাকার হোক, কিংবা ক্যালকাটা ফুটবল লিগ পরপর পরপর ক্যালকাটা ফুটবল লিগ জেতা, ফেড কাপ জেতা, আইএফএ শিল্ড জেতা, অজস্র ট্রফি কিন্তু ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গান ইস্ট বেঙ্গলকে দিয়েছেন। ৯টা ট্রফি কিন্তু সেই আই লিগটা কোথাও না কোথাও তিনি দিতে পারেননি ইস্ট বেঙ্গলকে, এবং কোনো বিদেশি কোচই কিন্তু আজ অব্দি ইস্ট বেঙ্গলকে সেই টাইটেলটা বা সেই লিগটা দিতে পারেনি। কিন্তু এই বছর ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের একটা অন্যরকম গল্প। এখন মাত্র ৩টে ম্যাচ বাকি ইস্ট বেঙ্গলে, এবং তারা কিন্তু আছে আইএসএল লিগ টেবিলের একদম শীর্ষে। এবং সেখানে কিন্তু আমরা যোগাযোগ করেছিলাম ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গানের সাথে। রোহানদা, আমাদের রেড স্পোর্টসের রোহানদা যোগাযোগ করেছিলেন সেই ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গানের সাথে। এবং তার কি প্রতিক্রিয়া, তিনি কি এখন ইস্ট বেঙ্গলে খেলা দেখেন, এবং কি মনে হয় এই সিজনে ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের খেলা দেখে তার কি মনে হচ্ছে? ইস্ট বেঙ্গল কি ফাইনালি এত বছরের একটা লিগ জেতার খরা কাটাতে পারবে? আসুন শুনে নেই সেই সাক্ষাৎকার সঙ্গে ট্রেভার জেমস মর্গান।
Hello and welcome to this very special conversation with a very special guest on Rep Sport, former East Bengal head coach Trevor James Morgan, one of East Bengal's fan favorites, one of the most successful coaches East Bengal had in the past. Trevor sir, welcome to Rep Sports. How has life been? What's the update that you can give to your thousands of East Bengal fans that they would want to hear from their favorite Morgan sir?
Well, I just hope that East Bengal are doing well and all the supporters are happy. My time there at East Bengal was fantastic, and when I look back on what we achieved, I think all the players can be so proud of what they done, and for the supporters, I know that we never won the league, but we won nine trophies during my time there, and I'm so glad that we made the supporters happy. That's really important to us all.
Absolutely, coach. And you have given a lot of golden memories to the East Bengal fans, thousands of East Bengal fans worldwide, I would say. But how do you look back at those glorious moments? What would be your favorite East Bengal memory if I ask you? Do you recall any particular moment? What has been your favorite time?
I would probably say my first year at East Bengal. We have the pre-season competition, and we played Mohenbagan in the final, and we beat them. So it gave me. If you look at how all of our supporters are, we're playing Mohenbagan in the final, and we beat them, and that sets me off. Then I had a good start to my career with East Bengal. Maybe if we'd have lost that game against Mohenbagan, things wouldn't have happened in the future. It was important that the players sort of not believed in how I coached them or whatever, but it was so important for the players because I'm someone new coming in from a different country, expecting different things, and the players on that day were fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of the players that we had. So that was probably the beginning of a really good spell for myself and for the club.
Absolutely, coach. And Talking about Indian football recently, have you been following Indian football in the recent years? Do you have any idea of what's going on in the Indian Super League and more?
Well, I did to start with, but then all the problems come up, with different people's egos, and I feel there's enough quality in India for India to have a really good international side, but you never find that because there's so many different people with different ideas and different attitudes, um, that I guess it's really it's not a difficult question, but just that I feel India should be doing a lot better than they do now, but they have to have the right people there to help them.
Have you been following the Indian Super League, the Indian what's going on with the National League right now, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan? Do you keep a track of
Well,
those news?
I yeah, I do sometimes, and I know there's been some trouble in the league, and I'm not sure that I think the East Bengal coaches has he left with 3 games to go.
Yes, yes. No,
Yeah,
he will finish the season and then will leave. But after many seasons, East Bengal are at the top, and hopefully they will go for the championship.
yes, I hope so as well. That football's about winning and celebrating those wins. So I hope that even if I'm not looking every day to see how East Bengal got on, I will always follow. I will always follow East Bengal in India to see how they do, to see what their results are, because I feel really associated with the club.
Coach, you have coached in a lot of clubs in different parts of the world. But where will you keep this East Bengal stint in your career? Where does East Bengal stay in your
Uh, at the
heart?
top, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'll go back to one incident. I had a chat with Shomik De, who was the captain in your time, and he has high regards for you. He mentioned about one philosophy that you introduced in the team, that a penalty system, that if a player comes late to the training session, he has to pay a fine, or does a rough tackle and consider yellow card in the training session, he will have to pay a fine, and then with the accumulated amount, the players would celebrate. It actually helped the players get into discipline and build the team bonding. Your thoughts on this philosophy? Could you please elaborate from where did the thought process come? A bit more on this.
Sure. I mean, it's something that during my time as a player in the UK, you have to have discipline when you play. And if you say to the players, okay, training is at 9:30 in the morning, you don't want people turning up at 9:35 and 9:40. Everybody's got to be there on time. And we had a system that would fine the players if they were late, or we had a set of rules, and if they broke those rules, they would be fined. But then what we did with the money was we would all go out for a meal together so it's about the team spirit that we had at East Bengal was fantastic. But you have to have discipline as well, and the players have to know that, and they did. And I think that was very much part of why we were so successful, because of the camaraderie that the players had together and the team spirit. It was brilliant.
Are you in touch with some of the players from your time? And uh, I mean, how have you seen those players when you took charge of the team? They were quite youngsters. How have you seen them grow as well? And do you have any contact with them till now, even?
Well, you just said about Sulmik, and I know on Sulmik's on Facebook, Metab's on Facebook. So I know what they're up to. I get messages from some of the players, wishing me happy birthday and things like that. So it's really nice. It's really nice for me to know that the players are following what I'm doing, even though I'm not doing anything at this moment. But it's really nice that they contact me and keep in touch.
Well, absolutely, coach. And you are one of those coaches who the fans also love very much. You are one of the fans' favorite. Any message for the East Bengal fans? How well they have treated you in your days here in Kolkata?
No, it was It was fantastic. You know, the first thing I ever saw about East Bengal was I went onto YouTube just before I got the job, um, and I saw the crowd there with with 100,000 people in the stadium when the Derby game was on, and just to know that you've made those people happy, it is a wonderful feeling, and it's something I'll never forget.
Absolutely, coach. But going back to your own playing days, how what would you say that in your glorious career you have played for some really big clubs, FC Bournemouth, but if I have to ask you one thing that Trevor Morgan as a player and as a coach, what would be your first choice?
Good question. Definitely. Well, obviously, as a player, I never ever saw myself becoming a coach while I was playing. But the longer my career went on as a player, the more I wanted to stay in football. And then I took my coaching badges. Had got work, had work, got involved with the players, um, and I loved it. I loved what I did. I never thought that would happen, that I would become a coach when I first started playing. But as my career got longer and sort of towards the end, then I just felt I want to stay in football and I want to be involved. And I got the opportunity to do that, and I just hope I didn't let anybody down.
Coach, moving aside to world football for a bit before we come back to Indian football again to end the conversation. This is, of course, the World Cup year, and how do you look forward to the Football World Cup? Who will be your top picks, top four, and how do you rate the England national team?
Well, I've got to go with England. That's the country of my birth. That's where I was from. That's where I played my career. So I'm always I want England to win. That would be great.
And who would be your top four picks going into the World Cup? Do you follow?
Top four. Well, I'd probably say hopefully England, Germany, Brazil, and Spain.
Okay, so you are not keeping Argentina in the top four?
I'm not. No, not at the moment. I'm thinking more of the European teams.
Okay. Coach, final few thoughts. As we are mentioning about world football, we know that you are a West Ham United fan, but
Yeah.
given the current scenario in the Premier League, how hard will it be to see West Ham go down if they actually do go down? Because when we are recording this interview, they're at the relegation zone, and right above them is Tottenham Hotspur. So, how hard will it be if that really happens?
It's going to be very difficult. West Ham have 3 games left against Arsenal, Newcastle, and Leeds. Um, and the things are not in their hands, because West Ham could win the next 3 games, but if Tottenham win their 3 games as well, then it's West Ham who go down. It's not in their hands at the moment, which is very disappointing. But I mean, I've supported West Ham since I was born, so that's quite a long time. Um, and they've been relegated into the Championship twice during my time as supporting them. This could be the third time coming up, but hopefully it isn't. And all I can do is I'm just like an East Bengal supporter. All I want is for West Ham now to do well and stay up, and I'll support them all the way. And I know that the East Bengal supporters would feel the same if it was East Bengal.
Absolutely, and that brings me to my next question. That this relegation and promotion, how important is this for a football league to have the relegation and promotion system? Because right now we will be having the relegation of the Indian Super League in the coming season, but in this season, but when the ISL started, the Indian Super League started, we did not have a relegation system. It was a closed league. And
Yeah.
we have seen from the time East Bengal came into this Indian Super League, they have finished bottom of the table. So, for a club like East Bengal, the legacy club, how important is having a relegation that actually pushes this club and the management to push forward to be a better version of themselves and not just take things into lightly?
Well, I think if you're in a competition and you know there's no relegation, then it doesn't really matter what your results are. If you lose, the players may think, well, it doesn't matter. We've lost the game. We're not going to get relegated, so it doesn't really matter. But it does matter, because you don't when you're playing now in a competition where there's relegation and promotion in a system. You want to stay in the top league. You want to be part of that. You don't want to be a team that's relegated, definitely. But if there's no relegation, I think that can change the players' mindset, which really is not a good thing.
Well, absolutely, coach. And final few thoughts from you. We are in the business end of the ISL, and East Bengal right now, when we are recording, are at the top of the table. What would be your message to the team right in this last phase of the competition? And another one before that, do you have any such moments of regrets when your time with East Bengal that you perhaps might think that I could have done it differently? Do you have such memories when you had your time with East Bengal?
Well, of course, after every game where we've not won, been defeated, or we haven't played well, the first thing you do is think about the reasons why you haven't played well. Um, that's football, though. That's the job that I do. You go into games and you think we're okay. This is what we've got to do to win it, and it might not work out that way, and then you have to change things that bring substitutes on and take players off and try and do things to win the game. But sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Absolutely, coach. And what would be your final message to East Bengal going into the final phase of the league?
No, I just wish them, every East Bengal supporter and the team, good luck, and I hope that they win the league that they're in at the moment, and everybody enjoys themselves.
Thank you so much, coach. It was lovely catching up with you. You have been my favorite when you had charges of East Bengal. I was a supporter back then, but now in media, it's always great to be hosting you. Thank you so much, coach, for joining, and we hope
Uh,
to join back again soon.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, coach.
Thank you. Bye.